Gary. Wow.
Parker.
You delivered. You delivered. Look at what I did. I wore my cowboy boots for you.
I'm happy.
Right? Oh my gosh. Tell us about this piece. Oh my goodness. Tell me what this is made of. Tell me your vision for it. Just talk to me about it. It's going to look awesome in the garden, by the way.
It's an armillary form, or a millary as the English say, which are rings representing the orbits of the celestial bodies, basically.
Wow.
And either Earth or Sun in the middle.
Reflective.
That one is.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of times I have bronze ones in the middle or copper ones.
I love it. Reflective. What's this material made of?
That's actually stainless steel,
It is.
but it looks like glass.
Yeah.
Looks like a glass gazing ball.
It does. The sun's beaming off of it. And how about this piece here?
Those are copper pipe. That's a bronze arrow tip from a fence. I actually get them made out of the original cast iron ones, and they make them into bronze at the factory.
Cool.
This
I
is
love
a
it. Looks like
andiron ball.
yeah. Oh, it's andiron.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's that copper green.
Right. Well, everything has its own patina. Obviously, the ball from the andiron is probably a little black. I had that made at the bronze foundry out of the original cast iron one, so that's raw bronze. And I want it all to look the same, so I actually put a patina on it. And from what I see so far, it'll probably stay the same, but it could take on a little bit different. The bronze could take on a little bit different than the copper and the patina.
And so, do you always use recycled pieces for your art?
Yes, most everything is made out of 19th century parts that I collect,
That you
basically from all different sources.
Yes.
I deal in antiques as well, so I find them at junkyards, I find them at antique stores. People call me up, backyards, you name it.
Yeah, and so you repurpose it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
most
awesome.
everything is done with that. Sort of predicts what I'm going to do to a degree.
Yeah.
It's not like painting a painting, because I don't have the luxury of having whatever I need exactly. So it's a little different putting things together. I have a machine shop, so
And so, so this is welded then.
there is very little welding. As a matter of fact, the only thing that's welded is on those plates on the bottom. Everything else is machined together with threads, pressure fitted.
Yeah. And so it has this illusion of it's kind of amorphous and it's floating.
Well, especially with the ball, but yes, the idea is that the base will get covered and these two rings will look like they're just sitting in space by themselves, defying gravity.
Yeah, further representing the celestial orbits, right?
There you go.
Yeah, and I love the shadow it projects.
It does. It makes its own armillary again.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
So
so
you said these are wagon wheels.
They are wagon wheels.
But not really.
And that's true. I actually have a 19th century tire bender.
Oh, who
And-
doesn't? I mean, doesn't everyone have a 19th century tire bender?
I actually called the American Society of the Wagon Society of America.
Okay, I didn't know there's a wagon society of America.
I didn't. Actually, it's a carriage society.
Okay.
And they told me that what I was really looking for was wagon tires, because I had said wagon wheels, the metal rings that go around the wagon wheels, and they said, you mean the tires? They said before we had rubber tires, we had metal tires.
These are the tires, right?
And it's true. You have the wheel, same as on the car. You have the rim, and you have the tire.
Right, that makes
Just
sense.
like a
Before
car.
rubber was invented, I mean,
There you go.
the circle made the wheel, and the wheel made the things go, and
And I have a
no rubber needed at the time.
A hand crank machine that will actually bend these cold. You
Really?
don't have to heat. No.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's a hand crank machine.
Wow.
It's amazing that it does it.
Okay. And so, how long have you been an artist? I mean, how long have you been making pieces for people?
I used to work construction, doing high rises, paper mills, power plants, you name it, highways, whatever. And so I was welding and doing that type of stuff. And then I got into the antique world back in the late 90s. And then I started making things, and it sort of just evolved into
Becomes addictive.
metal work. Well, I was designing furniture, and
Oh, cool.
I did Mica lampshades and different things, and then I started making metal
Yeah.
work.
And so, beyond the armillary, and the
Armillary.
what other kinds of pieces do you make?
I've made some coffee tables, I had some heavy chain link that I made a mailbox, holder or a post out of
Yeah.
lately. I've made a chair, some different things, but basically garden and millinery and sundial
Yeah.
forms are what I do most of.
Now, we found each other on Instagram, and so do you have a lot of followers on Instagram who ask for custom pieces, or is it a good way to get your work out? I mean, you drove all the way from Maine to deliver this baby right here, which is awesome.
It's true. Instagram, I meet a lot of people. I meet a lot of landscape designers, and but it comes from everywhere. I have a website, and people find me through Google.
Yeah.
People looking for garden things. I do shows like the Botanical Garden Antique Show down in New York City,
Oh, neat.
the Nashville Garden and Antique Show.
And you bring your pieces there and you display them,
Yeah.
and they're all for sale when you do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what's the biggest piece you've ever done? I'm thinking of Louise
Right around,
Bourgeois.
right. I
know?
just sold one that was it's a little under 9 feet tall,
Oh, wow.
and it's must be about 5 feet wide, I guess.
I think of that Louise Bourgeois who did the big spider out of metal. The sculpture is pretty cool. So 9 feet, that's pretty big. And how about the smallest one you've ever done?
I think a lady in Boston bought one out of the Boston Globe article that was about that big, so I don't know, less than a foot
Yeah, yeah.
and less than 16 inches high, I think.
Yeah. And so tell me, how long would something like this take?
It really depends if you're looking for the parts or if I already have the parts laying there.
Gotcha.
It also depends on when you go to put it together. I mean, if I'm drilling a hole that I'm going to tap threads out in and the drill bit snaps in it, what do? That's where the hole goes, so you got to get that drill bit out of there. So there's always complications
Right.
going on.
The inherent drama of art.
If there's a lot of parts and pieces, I used to work with a machinist, and we'd get halfway through and I'd look at it and I'd say, no, that's not what I want to do. And he says, we just made the parts for it. And I said, I know, but it doesn't look right.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I told you I went to
he'd
like a
get
welding
upset.
workshop.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a 4-day workshop, and I couldn't believe it. Within a half hour, maybe an hour, but a half hour, I was face mask down,
We gotta get you up to workshop someday.
cutting steel with a dangerous, piece of
Yeah.
equipment. But it's cool. I made a lot of garden pieces at the time.
Yeah.
And out of all sorts of things, and I would go trash diving too, and get, lawnmower parts and pieces of the heating systems in houses, and blinds, like metal blinds, all sorts of things you can make into
Right.
art when you know how to weld.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you got the right equipment.
yeah. And
That's the thing about having a machine shop is that it takes a lot to be able to get these different pieces
Yeah.
together.
so you have a website, and you
Yes.
do custom orders,
Yes.
and you're traveling sometimes because you're at shows.
Yes.
But people
oh, yeah.
can find you through the website and through the Instagram, and it's Gary Hume Designs.
Yes.
Gary Hume's Design. Is that your website too?
GaryHumeDesigns.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I will keep following you, and thank you for this beautiful piece.
Yes, I'm
and-
glad that you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be right out front of your house.
It really is, and I think it's not for me to enjoy only.
That's true.
It'll be the
yes.
whole neighborhood.
Yes, and
And
anybody
there's a
that
lot of
drives by it.
walkers. Yeah, there's a lot of walkers in this neighborhood, a lot of bikers, and then they're gonna see this beautiful
Yeah,
piece.
the reflection that you get off of the gazing wall is.
Can I name it? Is it okay if I name it, or is
You
that?
certainly can. No.
Some people think, if
I'm
you name
happy.
something, you take the beauty of knowing it out of it
Huh.
by putting a name to it.
All right.
But
don't
I
know.
asked the artists.
Other people have to name things so that they really feel attached. And,
Right, that would be me. That would be me. So I'll let you know when I name it.
All right.
And I'll send it to you, and I'll
Okay.
send a picture. But
All right. Wonderful.
when it's installed. But thanks
Yeah,
so
I
much
think
for
one of
taking
the
the
few
trip.
things I did was the Globe magazine, and I named it the Globe. It was a big one.
Yeah,
It was about 8 feet tall.
yeah, cool. Cool. Well, thank you for bringing it. It looks
You're
amazing.
welcome.
And I know it's going to look amazing there.
Wonderful.
And I'll keep following you, as I said. So, thank you.
Thank you.